Governments lie all the time. Oh, not just the American government. It's just in the nature of governments. Well, they have to lie. And since they don't represent the people, and so since they act against the interests of the people, the only way they can hold power is if they lie to the people.
I discovered that Holland had an enormous cocaine factory in the beginning of the last century, right before the First World War. They've started this factory because they had these coca leaves from India.
How did you kind of come across this fairly major discovery?
Yes, well, I was interested in opium. The Holland has been trading in opium for centuries, and that interested me. But while I was doing my research, all of a sudden I found this Dutch cocaine factory in Amsterdam along the river Amstel, and was the biggest cocaine producer in that period. What was quite astonishing, and of course I was immediately intrigued why this was not known. You know, why there was not, it wasn't part of history lessons in school and so on. And I discovered that during the First World War, this factory, the production, you know, went really sky high. And because the Netherlands were neutral during the First World War, so they delivered to the Germans, to the English, to the Americans, the French, everybody. They were selling it to all the countries involved in the war. So then I've started to get very suspicious. I thought maybe this cocaine, because of what it does to you when you use it, maybe it's used for the soldiers in the trenches. Then I discovered a research that has been done by a German scientist who in the late 19th century tried cocaine out on soldiers, German soldiers, and he was really very enthusiastic that this was the best thing to get soldiers fighting. The feeling of hunger goes, you can go on for 24 hours, you get very reckless, you know, and actually in those circumstances you become a real killing machine.
What's been the reaction of readers to the revelations in the book?
Well, here in Holland, lots of people are very shocked, but mainly shocked about the fact that this was completely unknown. They've sort of wiped it out of history books, because after the war, there was, of course, an enormous problem also in England. There were hundreds and hundreds of soldiers in the streets, you know, heavily addicted to cocaine. In Germany, it was much bigger problem, in Austria. And they had created, of course, a market, what was ideal for criminal organizations.
Do you hope that there's more light shed on this subject now that you've kind of brought it to the forefront with your book?
I would like it, you know, when people start to discuss this thing, also in the view of the wars that are going on in Iraq and in Afghanistan. I mean, what are these poor guys there? What do they give them? What do they allow to be available when it comes to drugs?
Is this a suspicion, or have you got some research on this current use as well?
Well, in this case, people come to me. I mean, the book is out a week, and it's already, I had so many people who contacted me and said, you've got no idea what's going on these days. Write a book about that, you know.
Next plan?
Well, I don't know. To be honest, you know, I'm quite sick of drugs.